Hi everyone, Susan McGarry here, and I got a request to try a product. It's actually been out for a little while, but I hadn't tried it yet, so I went ahead and ordered some, so we're going to take a look at it today. It is made by CBS, that's Coatings by Sandberg, and it's called Dichroic Extract, and I bought the color sample set. So I have all these different colors to try. So I'm going to try and come up with some projects to get the most out of these extracts. So let's get started. Okay, these are the supplies I'm going to use for this project, and I've opened all my dichroic extract, and so let me set those aside. And when they say sample, they mean sample. There is just a tiny bit in each one, but I don't think you need much. I'm going to start with this crystal clear transparent frit, and this black piece of glass. I'm using Bullseye right now. They are each 1 and about 1.5 inches tall. And this will be my back piece that is 1 inch wide, and this one is about 3/4 of an inch wide. And what I'm going to do is create a little curvy line and break the glass right there on that curve. There we go. And you know that my favorite glue is the White Rain hairspray. I put it in this little bottle that I get from my ceramic store. They use it, I think, to put slip down, you know, sort of a liquid clay down. So I just pull this off. It's got a needle tool here that is blunt. It's not sharp. And I use that as my glue. So I'm going to put one of those on one side and one on the other side. And I'm going to fill that middle with this coarse frit. So I'll put a little of my glue down. And if you don't want to use hairspray, if you want to use glass glue, it works great. You're welcome to use that. This is just my preference. It doesn't leave a residue, and I can get it fairly inexpensive. I'm going to pile this up a little bit. And what I want to do is glue these pieces down and then come back and put the dichroic extract on, because I don't want them to move while I am putting the extract on. So I'm going to add a little more, and I'll set that aside to dry. Then we'll come back to it. This second piece is also 1.5 inches tall, and I have 2 pieces here. The back is 1.25 inches wide, and the front will be 1 inch wide, but I'm going to cut that apart, same as I did before. Now the reason that I made this second one a little wider is so I would easily be able to tell them apart when they come out of the kiln. Because on this second one I am going to use Opaline Striker. It's a coarse frit from Bullseye. I'm going to fill that little gap like a little river with the Opaline Striker. I went in half with a friend. We shared a jar, so mine is in a plastic bag. I might end up putting it in a jar one day, but not so far. So far it is just sitting in a bag. Alright, I'm going to fill this with my glue. As you can see, it doesn't take much of the coarse frit. So let's come back in just a minute when these are dry. And so what is recommended is that you mix a little of the extract with a little bit of water. The little spoons help you do that. So what I've done is just take just a little water on the end of my paintbrush and dabbed it into the spoon. And since these don't come numbered or named or anything, I have numbered them. So later when I look back at the video, I'll know that where I put number 1 and where I put number 4 and so on, what color they become. So Let's open this. And I need to get a tiny amount out. Can you see how little is in there? It really is a sample set. But they say there's enough in there to equal, it equals 1/8 of a sheet in 6 solid dichroic colors. So this is equal to 1/8 of a sheet apparently. Alright, so I'm going to put a little bit of this, sprinkle a little bit of this onto that water. Alright, I'm afraid if I just start tapping I will get too much. So I've cut a little straw at an angle to make a little scoop so I can pick up exactly what I want. That looks like enough. And you want to close this up because you do not want to spill it. Now I'm going to take my little paintbrush and stir it around. Looks like it needs a little more water. It might be too thick. So I'm going to take the back end of my paintbrush and drop a little drop of water in there. I just want to mix a tiny bit at a time. Oh, that's perfect. And I am going to paint this on the frit right here. It's still moving a bit, but it is dry enough that it will stay in place while I'm doing this. At least the sides aren't moving. Now they say you don't want this paste too thick. You want it kind of thin. You want to be able to move it around, so add water if you need to. So very liquidy, less pasty and very liquidy. And since I have no plan, I'm just going to play this by ear, by feel, see what I decide. Alright, I'd like to try another color. I'm going to try this number 4. It kind of looks green. I don't know if that means it will be green after it's fired. I'm going to start with a little more water this time. Alright, I think I got the consistency better this time. It might be fun to mix these. I might put a little here, a little there. Bring some of that blue into here. I say blue, I don't know if it's blue. Whatever this first color was, I am going to add that to these pieces. You don't want to waste any of it. But I like the idea of getting some on the edge of the cut glass. So I'm going to put a little on there, like it's spilling over. All right, I'm not sure what it will look like afterwards, but I like it now. I'm going to move that over. I'm going to work on this one. Remember, this is the opaline glass. I will choose number 3. I'm going to put a little more water in there. And I'll do something similar, but this time I think I'll go down the middle and I'll choose a different color for the sides. And I'll put number 2, which looks kind of like gold, down the sides of it. Now remember, this is opaline glass, so I don't know how this will turn out. So those are ready to go in the kiln and be fused. I will probably use about 500 degrees per hour Fahrenheit to about maybe 1400 degrees and hold for 10 minutes. Because I'm trying to keep that texture of the frit, the coarse frit down the middle, I don't want to go too hot or too long. And then cool to room temperature, and we'll pull those out. Okay, I decided it would be a good idea to do a sample piece. So while I've got all the little spoons out and ready to go, and I've got my water out, I cut 2 new pieces of glass in there, 2 inches by 2 inches. I cut 2 of them. And the top piece I etched. I did see somewhere that etching them might be better to work with the extract. If you can see, the bottom one will be shiny, so that'll just be my bottom piece. I'll set this one aside, that will go on the bottom. And I got a new paintbrush, and all I'm going to do is do sort of a kind of rainbow look of the different colors. I'll keep them in order so when I pull it out of the kiln I'll know what they are. And it is a good size that it won't go to waste. I can always make it into a pendant. So I put a little bit in each spoon, and now I want to put a little water in there. I'm going to start with number 1. Add a little water. And this last color is definitely chunkier than the first 5 colors, and from what I understand, it's because it's a premium dichroic coating, so it is thicker. So you can crush it up or just apply it the way it is. So I still have my colors going across here, but I've just allowed this premium color to sort of flow across all of the colors. Now this bowl, I don't know if you can see in there. Can you see all those different colors that are on the bottom of the bowl? That's what I'll let this water evaporate, and then I will recover this the dichroic flakes in the bottom. Alright, I'm going to put this in the kiln with this other piece of glass under it with those first 2 pieces, and We'll see how they all turn out. Okay, they're all out of the kiln and I got some really interesting results. Let's start with this one. This was the one that I used, I believe, number 1 and number 4 on. And I'm going to clean it up a little bit, but I think that's pretty awesome. I like that a lot. It doesn't show as well on camera, just know it's pretty amazing in person. I love it. Okay, the next one was, what was this, 3 and 2 maybe? You guys know, it was only a few seconds ago for you. It was hours ago for me. And again, I'm going to clean up any excess. And that is pretty awesome. Pretty sparkly. But this is the one that had the opaline striker. And of course, it was wasted. I've covered it up with dichroic powder. So that was unnecessary. It was wasted. This is the one that I used all the different colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's see if any of it comes off. No, but pretty much stayed the same. But I love having this sample. I think I will keep it with the pieces. I'll glue it onto a card and then number them so I know which one is which. Okay, and this one I did after the cameras were shut off and ended up letting this bowl dry out, and all that dichroic powder was in the bottom, and it wasn't completely dry. I had a little water in there, so I was able to smush this around. And what I did was take a piece of black glass, smush that around with a paintbrush, and then put a piece of clear on top and fused it separate from those first pieces because I wanted to go to a full fuse. I actually went to 1425 degrees. What I discovered was I'm not very fond of the dichroic either capped or with that little of amount of powder. I'm not sure. Just didn't turn out well. I definitely like it uncapped. Do you see that texture? And here is the texture of this one. All right, so overall, I'm really pleased with this, and I'm very surprised at how little it actually takes to make something wonderful. I think overall I would probably use it on very textured surfaces because I think it allows the dichroic glass, that dichroic coating, to do its thing, to sort of give me that shift in color. Having it flat, definitely pretty, but I love the look of this. So this is definitely a fun product to work with. I'm glad I ordered it and gave it a try. I got to see what it can do, and now I know what I can do with it in the future. So it was a lot of fun. And I hope this gave you some ideas of things you can do with it. So thanks for joining me today. I had a lot of fun trying out a new product, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Join me again next time as I do new projects and try new products. So for now, be cool, honey bunnies. Bye.